Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the February Outturn of the SMWS Society. We thank you all for taking the time to sit with us, enjoy some scotches. Now, I know that everyone's busy now. There's so much to do out there, what with a global pandemic and 4 new strains and 40 below. There's not much to do, so we appreciate you coming down. So here we go. Anyways, as I was saying, it's enjoyable that you guys are here with us tonight. It's been a while since I've actually sat in the SMWS Outturn tasting table. Dave has been doing this for quite some time. He's on a little bit of a sabbatical. He will be back in March, so not to worry about that. He will be back with us.
They're just saying they lost volume.
Have we lost volume?
They did.
We're good?
Okay,
we're having a few technical difficulties, but we'll get them ironed out for sure. First of all, I want to thank Paul and Harold that are here with us, live streaming with the Ask Video and Photography team. We appreciate you guys being here, and thank you so much for that. Again, we've just got a few kinks that we're ironing out, and hopefully we're coming on stream now. Are we coming on stream? We're getting some chat back?
Oh, yeah.
Good. Okay. We're good to go. Again, so we got 7 whiskeys tonight on this outturn. It looks like we got about, how many people we got online? About 22, 23?
23 in.
23 in.
And actually, Kelly just popped in.
And Kelly's here.
Yeah.
Kelly's here as well from Scotland. We have people from all over the planet that join us here on the SMWS tasting. So Kelly is here from out there in Edinburgh. She's probably in Edinburgh right now.
Yeah, Rob and Kelly are both there.
Rob and Kelly are both with us, so we appreciate you guys coming down, Kelly. Thank you very much. And again, feel free to chat as much as you need. Craig is at the chat line, so we will try and answer questions or chat along with you guys as we move forward. James Hine, are you there tonight, James Hine? Can you give me a chat if you're there? No James Hine, maybe?
No James Hine yet. If he pops in, I'll let you know.
He pops in, let me know. Okay. All right, folks. So, let's, I think we should just jump right in, don't you think, Craig?
Yes, please.
Oh, by the way, I haven't introduced ourselves. My name's Lionel, and this is Craig.
Hey, everyone.
And we are here substituting for Dave, and I think we're just about ready to go. So, let's move on with our first whiskey, Craig. And the first whiskey that we have is the Muscle Sprouts, a 15-year-old refill bourbon barrel at 55.6 ABV. Total of 206 bottles on the planet. And so why don't we just maybe try and nose this baby and see what we got.
Extremely light and floral on the nose.
Light and floral?
Yeah.
I got to tell you something, folks. I get a kick out of the expressions that they come up with on the on our sheets here, because I swear to God, it's passing it down, and because I guess maybe I'm not as my nose isn't as picking up as much as I should, but I don't get the 17 different things that they're getting. I might get 2 or 3, the floral thing for sure.
What is chamois leather?
I'm not 100% sure on that, Craig. Chamois leather.
Looking for the damp shed. Yeah, it's sweet, light. It's kind of what you would expect from a refill bourbon, I think. You get all those punchy notes right off the nose.
Craig Alecky, it would be interesting if you ever could just get a distillery bottling side by side with a SMWS bottling versus a distillery bottling. Although Craig Alecky doesn't make a 15, I think they make a 13, a 17.
They've got a 24.
They got a 23, I think
24?
a 23 year and a 19 that just goes in the duty free. But it'd be kind of interesting. Let's give this a go.
Oh, that's delicious.
Boy, that is delicious.
It's really good. It's like a honeycomb cereal, like sweetness kind of thing. Like, it's very, very good. I can't pick out too many of the things. I'm just looking here at the book.
I know. You look at what they've got, and it's...
But I mean, they've got noses and palates like...
I suppose.
Like a bloodhound, so
I guess maybe
I'm just
that's
gonna,
the way it goes. Quick.
I'm definitely not a pro.
I mean, I know what I like, and I certainly like this.
Craigellachie's always got they're very characterful malts. Like we've had a few in the SMWS bottlings.
Yeah.
And they're always really it's a Craigellachie.
There's a lot of character to the whiskey. Yeah, for sure. Well, I think I'm going to drive, I hope everyone's got their water droppers at home. And knowing that you folks are all seasoned whiskey drinkers, I'm sure that you do. So maybe it's time to plant a few drops of water in this baby, and let's see what happens to her.
Oh, James is in the chat.
James?
Yeah.
James Hine is here with us tonight, folks. Thank you very much, James, for joining us tonight. We certainly appreciate it. James Hine, a member of our Fort McMurray group. A little bit of water.
And if you guys at home, if you want to share some notes in the chat, feel free to go right ahead.
Absolutely, feel free, and
we'd love to hear what you're saying.
Craig,
what do you think?
We'll bring it out. So that everyone knows and see what you get off of it.
So the nose, to me, it's opened up a bit more.
Yeah.
Definitely more floral, like some clover, honey, kind of notes.
They talk about air freshener, and I get that. Potting sheds, not so much.
This is an air freshener. Show me where to get it, and I'll buy it. Ham boiled and lactic stout beers. Sold. I'm buying one. Yeah, Atticus, you're saying it's more floral with the water.
And I like what it does with the finish too, with the water, Greg. I actually like this better with the water, for me.
It's definitely less hectic on the palate. It's smoothed out, less spicy. The nuances seem to come through a bit more with the water. But, yeah, a banger. That's a good way to start off the tasting, I think. Really, really tasty.
It is.
Yep.
Not bad at all, actually. That's a 15-year-old. Any other comments in there? Any other chat notes from any of the folks out there?
No, not really.
What do you guys think of the first whiskey that we've just had, the Craigellachie? What do you guys think?
They're probably just at home absorbing the glory, just letting the floor waft over them.
Indeed. Mm-hmm. Indeed, Craig.
Indeed.
All right. We shall carry on. By the way, the Craigellachie is under the spicy and dry category. You can certainly see why it is.
Yeah, really good.
Our next, so you may notice that there is a bit of a theme to the whiskeys because it is Valentine's Day is coming up here very soon. So it's kind of got that Valentine's theme. We go into the next one, a date with the tart.
There are some innuendos.
Yes, indeed. In my younger days, I might have had a few dates with a few tarts and probably got sent home fairly early. So anywho.
I won't ask.
No one's perfect, right?
I never accused you perfect.
All right. So let's move along to whiskey number 2.
Indeed.
35.263. A date with a tart. What do we got? It's a 12-year second fill bourbon barrel from the Glenmoray distillery, Craig. Glenmoray.
This is my first Glenmoray ever.
Is that right?
Never had it before.
Well, you don't often see bottlings of it.
Do we have it?
For sure. No, we do not. We do not have any Glenmoray bottlings.
Do they mostly go into vatting, or is it?
Yeah, it mostly goes into blending.
Okay.
They've had some bottlings before, but I've never really seen them here, to be honest with you, after 18 years. But most of their stuff is going into blends.
Maybe Kelly can comment on that. If there's any bottlings in Scotland, send us some photos.
Yeah.
We'd love to see them.
This thing sits at 58.8, so it's a pretty big boy, no doubt about it. Pretty big boy. And here they're talking about strolling through the flower gardens, surrounded by timber fencing and a vegetable patch that delivers wafts of fresh carrots, Craig. Wafts of fresh carrots.
We have a question in the chat.
Yes?
Zara wants to know about the tarts you've dated. So this has gone from a whiskey tasting into...
Now, I get it. No, I know. Those were my younger days. Like, when I'm talking about tarts now, Butter tarts. That's it.
Of
Butter
course.
tarts. I love butter
That's
tarts.
the first thing I thought was dessert.
That's
when
what
you
I was,
said tarts.
I was taking a butter tart out for a drink. So, anywho, let's go on with this. 58.8, so a big boy. There is lots going on in here.
This is very waxy to me on the nose. It's like a beeswax, almost like a varnishy, shoe polishy.
Oh, really?
But then there's like a nice sweetness underneath.
There is. I was just about to say there's some nice sweetness on the nose. I'm not getting that from a bourbon barrel. A lot of times you'll get that caramel vanilla thing going on. I'm not really picking that up.
Is it a refill? Yeah, a second. So maybe because it's a second fill?
Yeah.
You're not getting all those juicy first fill notes?
But as these things open up, of course, and we'll revisit. Obviously, you guys, gals that have been around, know to leave some in the glass so we can revisit the noses after, because you know how much they change moving forward.
Yep. So we got a question here. Which distillery was the first one? So that was a Craig Ellicky.
Oh, did we not mention that?
We did, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe you just joined us late, or...
Anyway, Craig Ellicky, that's that was the first distillery. And this is Glenmorangie. Now, hands up if you've had Glenmorangie before. Now, Craig, do you think anybody put their hands up?
Yes.
They probably feel pretty silly right now.
Maybe.
Well, because there's nobody there to see their hands go up.
But I can tell.
You can?
Yes.
Nice.
Maybe there'll be some hand emojis.
Really?
Maybe.
Oh.
Okay. I get some coconut in this one too.
Yeah, I get that too. I don't even think coconut's mentioned. Talking about dried apricots. We're talking about dates, sweet tarts.
I'm just going to stop reading these because I'm not getting any of these.
No, the tart thing I get.
The chocolate I get, actually. The chocolate I do get. So we got someone here named Lane saying they love Glenmorangie.
Oh.
So...
Well, there's been a lot of it. There's been a fair amount of independent bottlings in Glenmorangie. I think we had some first edition stuff. We had some Adelphi stuff in Glenmorangie, I'm pretty sure. So we've had some independent bottlings out there of the Glenmorangie. Now, I don't know if, like I said, I don't think I've ever had a distillery bottling of Glenmorangie ever, but definitely had some independent bottlings of it.
We've got some folks saying it reminds them of a rum.
Really?
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. Do you guys find it just like sweet as a rum, like with the dark flavors? And Kelly or Rob are saying lots of Glenmorangie over the years, one of my faves. So yeah, if this is an indication of it, then yeah, I'd like to definitely try some more. It's quite good.
We haven't tried it with water yet, though, have we, Craig?
No.
Well, let's do that.
Okay. Oh, so we're told it's pronounced Glenmurray.
Glenmurray, not Glenmorangie.
Yes. So forgive my ignorance, everyone.
Who said that? Who is that?
Miss Sheila Semper.
You don't know for certain, Sheila. All right. Fine, we're wrong.
I'm okay with that. I like learning stuff.
We learn every day.
I do, especially here.
You'll notice that I'm wearing my Oilers jersey today, folks. I know it's not game day, but I gotta support and promote the oil. After all, it's all we have during the pandemic is whiskey and oil, and we got them both right here. What? Paul's giving me a sign. I don't know what he's talking about. We're good. Okay. Anywho.
So some folks are saying sweet, raisin, dark sugar notes, which I guess is kind of indicative of what a rum would be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, eh?
Yeah, the raisin, I definitely get that.
Well, now that it with the water, you certainly get it.
It's like...
Holy crap. Kelly, I don't know if you were on at the start, Kelly and Rob. It's going to be minus 40 below this weekend. I don't know what it's like in Scotland over there, but it's bloody cold out here. So thank the Jesus that we have the whiskeys here for us to at least warm up with.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, really cold, and we're going to be socked in for about 10 days. So that's just the way it is out here in Alberta.
Perfect time for a dram.
Indeed.
Yep.
All right, so that's whiskey number 2. A date with the tart, 35.263. Any other comments on the Glenmorangie, the date with the tart?
So the Glenmorangie, they say, James says he got a bit of vanilla and a touch of cinnamon with the water added.
Oh.
Atticus says he doesn't get crap, but that's okay.
He does. We appreciate your honesty.
The honesty is good. But I'm sure he was just joking.
Well, we have to be light at these tastings. We can't be too presumptuous. We have to be light.
We're the least serious people ever.
We, whiskey is meant to have, we're meant to have some fun with whiskey. I mean, we are going through some tough times out there, and so we need to relax and take a breath, Craig.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, are we ready for whiskey number 3?
I am.
Everybody ready? Okay.
Yes.
James Hine, are you ready out there with whiskey number 3? I hope to God you are, James. 12.42, getting fruity in the malt barn. Let me turn to my notes. Now, this is a Benriach bottling. First fill bourbon, 10-year. 58.9, another pretty big boy. 221 bottles. Benriach. I've actually been to that distillery, Craig.
I've heard the story.
You have?
I have.
Have I said it before?
You should tell them, though.
I'll say it again.
Okay.
So I have been to Benriach, and they're now owned by Brown-Forman. Unfortunately, I mean, all the big boys are taking over a lot of the distilleries, which is in a way a little bit disappointing. But I had been to Benriach, which is a very different kind of a distillery. They don't have a tasting room per se. You just go to the manager's office.
It's like a drive-through or what?
Well, no, it's not a drive-through, Craig. But you kind of go to you have to book an appointment. You can't just waltz right in there.
So it's like a doctor's office.
And I, at least where I went, was in the manager's office, and we had a couple of drams there. And then he went and showed me around at the distillery. We took a walk around, and we took a look at the stills, of course, and around the warehouse, and we took a look at the cask area, and there were casks everywhere. Like, there was stuff everywhere. Mm-hmm. And just before that, the day prior, we were in Glendronach. And Glendronach is kind of the brother distillery to Benriach. And totally different. Totally different. At Glendronach, spotless, a beautiful tasting room. Everything was just so. Benriach, not so much, Craig. Not so much.
A little shabbier?
I'll tell you one thing. I love their whiskeys. So anyway, I'm chatting a little bit too much probably, so let's just try this.
Is Benriach a Billy Walker enterprise?
It was, certainly.
Okay.
Yes, but absolutely.
Did he sell it, or is he still?
Yeah, I think, Brown-Forman owns it.
Right.
Okay.
You said that.
So, now, I don't know if he's got a piece or if he's still involved. I don't think he is. Maybe Kelly can shed some light on that. I'm not sure, but I know he had a lot to do with it at the beginning. Not at the beginning, because it's been around since the late 1800s, but he had a lot to do with the up-and-coming Benriach. Because Benriach actually got Distiller of the Year back in, I think it was 2015 or 2016. Their whiskey is excellent.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't think I've had much of it, unfortunately. This might be my first or second one. This smells like chocolate.
Oh, it absolutely does.
And like an apple tree.
What's it say? It's rainwater drip from the malt barn roof, bringing a leafy freshness that mingled with nearby geraniums and green moss. Inside the barn, we were getting fruity with blood oranges, nectarines, and waxy apple skins.
I definitely get the waxiness, but blood oranges and.
Well, I don't quite get the that. The seduction of vanilla and milk chocolate, I get.
It's not as, I don't think, robustly flavored as the first two, which is weird because this is a first fill bourbon, but it is a bit younger. I think it's 10 years versus 15 and 12.
Yeah, it's a 10.
But still, I mean, delicious. Really good.
Now, I'm going to drizzle a little bit of water on this. I think it's time for that. Any comments coming from outside there, Craig?
Yeah, we got a few saying there's a slight bitter finish. Mark P says a bit of candied fruit, which yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure.
Yeah, and there is as folks are pointing out, there's a definite pronounced bitterness on the finish, but not like cloying or gross.
Yeah,
it's like a nice balance.
It's a subtle kind of Now they talk about with the water, the apple crumble and cinnamon. You know what? I'm actually picking that up.
Cinnamon, yes. Crumble, I'm negative. But I'm a bit of a crumble snob, so maybe that's why.
And they talk about coconut biscuits and lemon sweets. I don't know about the lemon. It is a very nice. It's got a nice nose to it, though, for sure. The water really brings out the nose.
It's one of those whiskeys you want to drink when you just want something like subtle and smooth and nuanced. Like nothing ferocious or robust or just over the top. Like it's a very, very good sipping whiskey.
Absolutely.
Atticus says bourbon. I see the parallel.
What is that?
He just says bourbon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He gets more bourbon out of it?
Oh, maybe like some bourbon notes.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. But I definitely see the parallel. Yep.
You know, it's interesting when you get the comments from everybody, because everybody has a different palate. I mean, everybody gets things differently off the nose and off the palate, for sure. I mean, everybody's different.
Totally subjective.
Exactly.
So I'm getting asked what a crumble snob is. That's someone who eats, I mentioned I was a crumble snob.
Oh.
Like an apple crumble snob?
Yes.
Someone who eats way too much dessert. Basically it.
That might be
I like to sample all crumbles.
That might be me, Craig.
All fruits.
I do like a lot of desserts.
I should start like some kind of crumble snob tasting club.
Which is surprising when you consider how lean I am.
Very aerodynamic is the word I would use.
All right. What else? February, by the way, does about, they're not a huge distill. You know, they do about 3 million liters, which isn't super big. Greg Alaki does about 4 million.
So with the water, you get a bit more like vanilla, some more pronounced honey, some more pronounced caramel. So yeah, that's, if folks are saying bourbon, that's,
yeah, maybe
again, I can see the parallel. Very good, yeah.
I've got a feeling this is really going to change when we come back to it.
I can't wait to do the full circle and come back.
Yeah. Okay, now, I'm excited about the next one, Craig.
Because that was your nickname before?
Well, no. It wasn't my nickname
Whatever
before,
that
but
means.
I'm just saying. First of all, can we hone in on this one? This is the big swirl. Can you get a good shot? So this is the big swirl, which is a blended malt. Now, it's a 10-year, so kind of interesting, really. So they've got, now you don't know what distilleries they're coming from. What do we know? We know that it's first fill sherry and bourbon. We know that. We know that there were several casks that were, I mean, I don't know, Kelly, and maybe you could shed some light on this. How do they do this? How do they decide what casks to put in and to make? I mean, did they try about 3 or 4 or 5 different things and say, well, this doesn't taste any good, let's do this and this? How do they know? How do they know to try all these casks, mix them up, and put them in there? I don't know how they do that. It just seems amazing to me how they can conjure up a brilliant whiskey.
The previous blends have been really good as well, like the Battle Axe that blended.
Yeah, their blends have been excellent.
Yeah, and they had the Beachcomber that was a Campbelltown or was Highland whiskeys, I think.
Yeah, and I don't know what, I have no idea what these whiskeys, where they're from.
Yes. Brandon says the blends they are putting out are amazing.
Yes,
and I totally agree.
And I still like the old term, which was vatted malts as opposed to blended, because the vatted malt kind of distinguished it from the blends, the blended grain malts. But anyway, it is what it is. They're now called blended malts. I always did like the term vatted, but anyway.
Do we know how many went into this?
How many barrels?
Yeah.
No.
So Kelly's just saying big swirls of blended malt. So quite a few different barrels.
Yes.
So
we know that there's quite a few. We don't know how many, and we don't know where they're from. And that's what I'm saying. How do they know, to take X amount of barrels from X distillery and put it together and say, well, does this work? Yeah, this works.
Practice?
I guess so.
Practice, I guess.
What a job that must be. How do you do that? How much do you have to drink to accomplish it?
How do I do that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
How do we get a job doing that? I love the nose on this thing. This is yummy. This is like candy.
It smells like a red berry dessert or something.
You could drink this one all day long, actually. What's the ABV?
50. The blend is 50.
Yeah.
I think all their blends are 50.
Yeah. 1,895 bottles. So so who knows? Who knows?
So Kelly just piped in here. She says the tasting panel decides on what flavor profile they want to go for.
Yeah.
Then they sample from a bunch of different casks in the warehouse. So essentially it's just it's lots of sampling.
Yeah.
Which sounds like a good time. That would be a lot of fun.
What a job. I mean, how do you apply for that? I mean, what do you need to have? Like what, as far as, on the application form itself,
well,
you're going in applying for that job. Do you have a master's in chemical blah, 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 or do you just really like drinking?
So you know how a bloodhound has an amazing sense of smell?
Yes.
Probably a palate compared to a bloodhound sense of smell. Just transfer that to a palate.
Yeah, maybe. It's odd. And it talks about a classic sherry profile that bursts with red berry, wine gums. They're not, that's, you can get that. You can get that.
And it's really, really easy to drink.
Oh.
Like really easy.
Like too easy.
Like
right?
Simple. Like grade 2 math, but in my face.
Wow.
I know I hate the term smooth. I can't stand when someone uses that to describe whiskey, but this would definitely describe whiskey. This whiskey, anyway.
I'm going to try it with some water. Although I got a feeling that I'd rather much enjoy this without the water, but I'm going to try it anyway.
It's oaky, it's candy, cherries. It's very sherry.
A little candy
dark
floss
fruits
going on.
Yep. Very good. I'll try some water too. How do you like it? Water or no water?
I think I'd prefer it without the water myself.
Yeah.
But that's me. I mean, everybody's different. Again, everybody's different. Everybody likes it a different way, and that's fine too. In this particular one, I'd rather have it without the water. But that's just me.
That's why I love cast strength whiskey. You can really dial it in to
exactly.
how you want it.
You can dial in
Yep.
the way you want. Any other comments out of the group?
A compliment for me, actually.
Really?
Yes. Kelly says that I nailed it. It's having a great nose and palate and the ability to put what you smell and taste into words.
That's why Craig is here, Kelly. Exactly why he's here.
No one analogizes whiskey with bloodhounds, except for me.
It's all about picking the right personnel. Me, I just know what I like. Okay, well, this is exciting. The witchcraft. Are we ready for the witchcraft? Are you ready, Craig? Well, wait for Craig now. Because
Yes.
now Craig is the superstar, so now we've got to wait for Craig.
No, I'm not trying to toot my own horn.
Come on.
Just
Craig.
the one
You are
time,
too.
maybe.
All right.
The witchcraft I've been waiting for all week.
The Wishcraft.
Yeah.
I want to apologize up front to everyone because, it is very hard. These bottles weren't just bought yesterday. These bottlings were bought many months in advance. We're in the middle of a global pandemic. You never know how much to get, how much not to get, what to get. And, you want to satisfy as many customers as you can. And sometimes it's very difficult. And we apologize for that up front. But we can only do what we can do. But I think the beauty of this is even though some may or may not get the bottlings that they want, it's great to experience them.
At least you get to experience it.
And exactly, because a lot of people don't. And that's the beauty of the SMWS. Because you are getting bottles that, and there's always some bottles that'll just blow your mind. Every single time. So, anyways, let's try 7.244, 62.1%, 235 bottles. Oh, wrong, sorry. 59.4%. 15-year first fill sherry. Initial cask, 2 second fill bourbon barrels, and then final cask, a first fill PX butt. So let's give this a go.
Super unique on the nose. I honestly don't think I've smelled a whiskey like it.
Wow.
I'm having a tough time nailing something down, though.
Well, it's so complex.
There's nothing really that singularly stands out.
Well, what do they say here? With the heavenly aroma, we found ourselves in an old-fashioned dunnage warehouse in Scotland, smelling a very rare old vintage. And yes, indeed. I remember it when I went to Glendronach as an example. And Glendronach, as you probably know, pretty much all sherry. Glendronach just all sherry. Well, you walk into that warehouse and you never want to leave. Like, you just want to swim in there. It's unbelievable. And that's what this nose reminds me of.
Okay.
Walking into that Glendronach warehouse and just never wanting to leave.
Oh, that's amazing. So we got some folks saying it's really citrusy on the nose.
A little bit of citrus.
Yeah,
I certainly get the hint of butterscotch they talk about. So, and it does show orange bitters,
geez,
sugar, Demerara sugar, Cortado sherry, which I'm not totally familiar with. Palo Cortado sherry. Wow.
On the palate, this is extremely citrusy. It's like if whiskey was a fruit salad, this would be it. I kind of want a whiskey fruit salad.
I should put that on a menu.
Should do that.
I'm going to add a little bit of water now, Craig.
It's very citrusy. There's some almost like a ginger note that I'm getting.
Yeah.
Like some gingeriness. Like Asian ginger, not like a ginger snap. It's very good. Very unique. I haven't...
Wow.
Zara says old-fashioned.
It really, I think...
Like the cocktail kind of thing?
Yeah. You know what? When you add the water, for me, the sweetness sure comes out. Holy crap.
I guess that's why Zara's the rep for one of our whiskeys that we stuff here at the store.
Was Zara online there?
Yeah, she's here.
Oh, well, we'll get into that after Craig.
Yes, we will.
This is, well, I got to say, this is pretty darn good.
It is exceptional. It's very, very good.
Witchcraft. I think that's a pretty good, I think actually that's a pretty good word for this whiskey. Because it's a little bit of magic in this glass.
Mm-hmm.
Little bit of magic, I must say.
David here is saying there's a very rye-esque feel.
Yeah.
So that
I get that spiciness. I get that.
Yeah, that
kind
totally
of
makes sense.
Rye spice.
I haven't had a ton of rye myself, but
I've had rye.
I believe you.
I'll talk about the Millstone rye that we just got in. I have to put the plug in.
Plug it
Kelly,
out.
I'm going to put this plug in. I know it's SMWS, but we just received our keg and cork bottling of our Millstone rye from the Danes, Sweden. It's an amazing rye. So just arrived yesterday. Just saying. We were just talking about rye, so it was a lead in, Craig. It's what you call a lead in.
Perfect tangent.
Indeed.
No, you are the master of timing.
Well, that's what I do.
I really love how viscous and thick these whiskeys are.
Oh yeah.
Super coating.
Yeah.
Very, very satisfying.
Very complex.
Very satisfying.
So much going on in the glass. We're very fortunate, I think, to try. I mean, there's such unique whiskeys.
It is one of the perks of the job.
It is.
Yes. And you'll never hear me complain.
No, I know, Craig.
Ever.
I know. It's a really fun part of the. That's why I'm still in this business. I love the whiskey aspect of the job, to be honest with you. You know, when we first opened up the store back in 2002, we were more of a wine store. And not that we don't carry wines. We do. We carry a lot of wines. But now we're so much a whiskey store. And whiskey and beer store. We sell a lot of beer too.
We do sell a lot of beer.
But we are a whiskey store, and we love being a whiskey store. And there's so much fun. It's fun. It's fun.
It is fun. It is a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And
I'll tell you what, some of my best memories, and I know you're out there, you guys from Fort Mac, is we love going out there. And it just pisses me off that we can't get there due to COVID. But when this thing is all over with, we shall return. Just saying. All right. So that was Witchcraft 7.24. How are we doing speed-wise? Are we going too fast? Are we? How we doing out there? Anybody want to comment? Is the speed okay? Are we?
No one's complaining so far.
Okay.
Let us know though.
Let us know if we're moving along too quickly.
James says that they love when you come up.
Oh, we appreciate that, James. It's the highlight. We go up to Fort Mac about 4 times a year usually, and we stay for the weekend, and we do about 3 tastings. Craig will do one on a Friday. We'll do a Saturday afternoon, SMWS, every Saturday afternoon when we go up. And then we do another tasting Saturday night, usually a kind of a bigger kind of a tasting.
Yep.
And we always have so much fun. People are so engaged. I gotta be honest with you, folks. We are here in our tasting room. And I've always been very, very proud of this tasting room. We did a lot of work with this thing, and we can't use it. I mean, it's got a bunch of stuff in it now. At least we use it for virtual, but we haven't had anybody in here in a year, and it just breaks my heart because virtual tastings are great. I love them, but it's not the same. And that's why we brought Paul and his group in, because I don't like the idea of Zoom. I think it's more professional when you get some people in that are proud of what they do, and they can bring the attention to the whiskeys a little bit better, I think.
Definitely.
Right?
Yep.
As opposed to a kind of a Zoom thing. So, anyway, I'm babbling on. So we'll go on to Terry Nights. And of course now we're moving on to some peatier type whiskeys. Terra Nights Croffingia from Loch Lomond. Greg.
I love peated whiskey. Absolutely love it.
And not everybody does, but I think most of the SMWS, most of the members in particular, do. And it's funny with the peat folks that drink peat will drink all kinds of whiskey. Those who don't like peated whiskeys just
kind of stick to
will not touch it. They'll stick to Highland Speyside kind of fruity kind of stuff, which is okay. Nothing wrong with that. But there are so many good peated whiskeys. But here we go. Terry Nights. This is a young one, a 5-year, second fill bourbon, 62.1%, April 2014, 235 bottles. Crofton, yeah.
Do you remember that Stoisha we had a little while back?
Which one?
Stoisha?
Yes.
It was like it's a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Which I think is a young Bunnahabhain.
Yep.
This smells a lot. It smells you a lot like that, actually. So it smells great.
It does. But you don't get. It doesn't have that medicinal kind of. I could almost see the kippers. The smoky pub carpet. I'm having a problem with the smoky. I haven't smelt too many smoky pub carpets lately.
So this smells like someone drizzled icing on a tire and then slapped the tire with a piece of bacon. Honestly, that's what I'm getting from this.
That's why he's here, ladies.
A cooked piece of bacon.
That's why he's here. I don't quite get it all, but
no, it's like burnt clutch. It's donut icing. It's bacon, and there's fish somewhere in there.
Well, they talk about the kippers. They talk about the salty bacon. They talk about game meats. No, I almost get the game meat thing in there.
Oh my God.
Smoked earth, burlap, hot kiln air. You know, when you read this, I'm going to just read this. The palate opened up with big hearty sootiness, smoked earth, burlap, hot kiln air, more kippers, dense medicinal notes, and wood ash. Now, if someone were to say to you, I want you to try this spirit, and here's what you're going to get out of it, I mean, I would be afraid to drink it.
I wouldn't.
But here we are.
What does a kiln smell like?
I don't know, Dave. Craig, I keep calling you Dave.
Do you?
Well,
I haven't noticed.
I'm used to it.
Okay. If this is what a kiln smells like, I want to work in a kiln. So James here was saying olive marinated in lemon.
Olive marinated in lemon.
And I see that.
James Hine has been known to take drugs before tastings, though, Craig. So I'm going to take it with a grain of salt. Just saying.
Shame on you, James.
Man.
It's exceptional. And it's so young.
And it's so young.
And it
does not taste young.
No, it tastes twice its age.
Oh, my God.
Easily. There's a note on here I can only describe as rain barrel. So if you stick your face
in a rain barrel,
in a leaf-filled rain barrel, that's what this smells like.
I think you could work for SMWS, Craig.
That's what I'm trying to do. This is a job interview. If Kelly's watching still, you know my email.
Yeah?
Yeah.
There you go.
Let me know.
Jeez, you know once.
Now I'm getting like a plastic action figure. You know the articulating G.I. Joes?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what it smells like. Or beach ball.
I'm going to add some water to this.
James says no drugs. Just a warped mind.
Yeah. Sure, James. Sure.
Zara says blackberry on the finish.
Blackberry on the finish?
Yeah, that's neat. I don't get any blackberry, unfortunately. I wish I did. I love blackberry, but maybe with the water, it'll appear.
You know what? This particular whiskey, I like it better with the water, for sure. Man, this is not a 5-year-old. I mean, it's unbelievable how good this drink is, and it's 5 years old.
This is my favorite one so far.
It's crazy.
Easily. It's not even a competition for me. This is excellent.
Really?
Yeah.
You really like it?
It's really good.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really good.
Very, very
really good. You know, Loch Lomond, those guys, and we have some distillery bottlings of Loch Lomond. Yeah, I think we have a 12-year. There's a few, but now most of their stuff is used in blending for sure. Like their capacity is like 30 million liters.
Yeah, they're like the Amazon of whiskey.
Yeah, they're absolutely huge. And it's wondered that you don't get more of the Loch Lomond, although there are quite a few, I guess, independent bottlings of Crofton-Gia or Loch Lomond.
So we have a really, really amazing peated Loch Lomond. That Inchfad.
Yes, the Inchfad from first edition.
Oh my God.
Oh my Jesus.
And I know Darcy's here in the chat, and when I say this, I know he bought a hell of a lot, not just from us, but he cleaned a bunch of stores out.
Of that.
It's that good.
Inchfad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful world of whiskey.
Very amazing.
Right? Wonderful world of whiskey. It's amazing. I feel sorry for the folks who don't drink Scotch. Just saying.
Just pity. Just pity.
Well, I'm not a vodka person myself. Yeah, okay. How many times has it distilled? 5, 10, 20? Who cares?
Well,
that's an amazing whiskey for a 5-year-old.
I'm coming back to that one.
Gotta say.
And I'm taking that heel home tonight.
Damn you, Craig.
Yes.
Damn it. So that was Terry Night. 122.31. Okay.
So before we move online, I'll just a funny comment here. So a regular here, Greg Perlinsky, says, a few years ago there was a massive leak at Loch Lomond. Whiskey spilled out into the nearby freshwater stream, and he would have volunteered to personally go to Scotland, grab a straw, and single-handedly save the country.
Yes.
Very heroic.
How heroic is that?
I would have been right there with you.
What a guy.
Very noble.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, very self-sacrificing.
Selfless. Selfless.
I agree.
You're a good man. All right. Whiskey number 7, Craig, already.
Seems like a speedy one.
Is it? I mean, I guess maybe it is.
It's been almost an hour.
Is it?
Yeah, 50 minutes.
Really? Because we have to talk about other stuff yet.
Yes.
All right.
Many good things coming up.
Keep the fire stoked. 53.327. Refill bourbon, 10-year-old, 275 bottles. At a poultry, 58.9%. Weak whiskey.
Did you say a poultry or
Poultry.
Poultry is chicken or birds.
I don't need you to correct me.
Game fowl.
Craig, stop it.
Okay.
All right. Kalila. Is that the right pronunciation? Where's the one who always pronunciates the distilleries properly? Kalila? Any comments, Dave? Or Craig? Did it again?
Nope.
Must be right then.
We'll see.
All right. Oh, by the way, which Kalila, if you wanted to know, if you were planning on visiting it tomorrow, not going to do it. She's closed for renovations. Just a little tidbit that Kegncork knows about. So there you have it.
Is Kalila also a factory? Like, are they like a big...
They're pretty big.
And they just...
What's their capacity, you ask? I know you're going to ask that. Probably around 4 million liters. I'm just going to guess by the hair. 6.5 million.
Well, that's it. I thought it'd be more.
6.5 million liters. And that's another Kalila, of course, owned by Diageo. The big boys have taken it over, of course. But it is what it is. Doesn't demean their whiskey. Very good whiskey, for sure. But here we go. Refill bourbon hogshead, 10-year.
I feel like we get a Kalila every outturn.
Holy smokes. You know, it's not as pronounced as it's quite a little subtler than I thought it would be.
It is more subtle.
Yeah,
it is more subtle.
I mean, it's obviously there, but it doesn't have that big, heavy medicinal kind of thing going on, but it's on the nose.
It's got that like amazing maritime bouquet.
Yeah.
Like it's salty, it's flinty, it's fishy.
You know, they talk about the lobster tail thing going on.
Lobster?
Lobster tail.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Oh, some crustaceans.
But you're right, it's got that kind of that Newfoundland vibe going to it.
I won't touch that one.
Wow.
Yeah, lovely.
It's like delicate. It's like, wow. This is really good. This is pretty good, Greg. I gotta say. Now, they talk about on the palate, a sweet peat smoke caramel explosion. And you know what? I get that. I get the caramel explosion thing.
The aftertaste is a struck match.
Yeah.
The way that smell is, that's what I taste. It's very good. And it is. Like, Kahlua is typically really robust and punchy, but this seems much more reserved.
It does.
Kind of
when I talk about a kind of a delicate,
Yeah.
Delicate meaning that it doesn't have any, doesn't have any less character, but it just really seems so drinkable. Like it's so.
And at almost 60%, it's
wild.
It's almost criminal how easy it is to drink.
And you say, okay, we're going to try it with water, but I can guarantee you right now,
Probably
I would not have it with water, but I want to try it because that's just what we do.
Yeah, just really good. Just
Keeping
like
the fire stoked.
Again, very maritime, very salty. It's like honey on burnt toast. It's
And they talk about honey and nut cluster.
It's just, I think peat's just my wheelhouse. Like I really, really, really love peated whiskey.
Yeah.
A couple drops of water.
You know what? I thought I wouldn't like it better with water, but I like it better with water. I do.
Cool.
Yeah.
This has that rain barrel note again for me.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the Tari Tari Night had.
With the leaves in the rain barrel, Craig? You mentioned leaves.
Fewer leaves on this one.
Ah.
Or a different leaf from a different tree.
Maybe from a different, like
Yes.
maybe it's from an oak tree or something. Boy, I really like it. To me, they get more sweetness with the water. I don't know if it's just me or what it is, but I really like it with the water.
Yeah, some folks here are saying it's better with the water.
Yeah.
David here just says that the smokiness seems to be that of like a doused fire.
Mm.
So instead of like a burning,
full on.
Instead of a roiling fire that gives off like that ashy note.
Yeah.
This is more of like a reserved, like moist steam or smoke.
Kind of a dull fire. Wow.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
That's
nice.
That's very good.
All right. Well, now the part that I really like is going back through now and just nosing the different whiskeys, and let's just see what's going on with some of these things. Oh yeah.
Do you have any water?
What's that?
Do you have any water to kind of cleanse your palate?
I don't.
You just cleanse your palate with whiskey?
I'll just cleanse it with whiskey.
Nice.
It's all about the nose now, Craig. It's all about the nose.
So now this is jujubes.
Yeah.
Like a soft
I was
chewy
just
candy.
going to say that.
That is jujubes. Wow. You know, it's amazing how much whiskey evolves over such a short period of time.
I know.
I guess it's been an hour, so not really that short.
And you know what? I poured that a half an hour prior.
So they've been airing out for a while. Yeah. So it's, I don't know, it's amazing. It's like a puppy that learns a new trick. You just can't help but smile.
And it is just like jujubes.
That is such a jujube. Wow.
The one that I'm looking forward to is the Big Swirl. I haven't come back to that. And the other one I thought would really get is the Getting Fruity in the Malt Barn. But I haven't tried that one yet.
Yeah, I don't know if it's, I just went from a peated whiskey to that, but
yeah,
taste hasn't changed much, but the nose is big time different. It's like jujubes floating in fruit punch. Like that really crappy fruit punch that you'd pour from a can.
Like an Arbor Mist kind of thing?
No, like the concentrate you add from a can and then dump water in.
Hold it.
Yep.
Yeah. Getting Fruity in the Malt Barn knows this guy again. I knew it. Wow. I could smell that all day long. It's like almost like candy floss or sweet ginger or something.
So this date with a tart, it's like someone mixed varnish and cream soda. Honestly, that's what it smells like.
Craig, you got to get off the crystal meth. Okay, that's all I can say.
James supplies me. I can't help it. He's such a good deal.
Holy crap! Try nosing the big swirl. Boy, there's a change. Oh my!
Yeah, much more like
Holy
dark sherry. Really dark sherry. Like
what the hell?
Like fruit leather and dehydrated cherries. It's good. This one, the nose has a lot of parallels with like a really dark Belgian beer.
Oh.
So it's got like that really dry, dark fruit, like leathery, like mustiness to it.
Huh.
Really good. This is why you should drink more beer.
I got to start drinking more beer. I'm worried about the weight gain though, folks. I know I'm slim right now, but I worry about drinking too much beer, so I don't drink a lot of beer. And because of the weight issues, Craig.
But we have so much of it.
I know. I want to go back to witchcraft. You know, it hasn't evolved and changed as much as the others. Although you get a lot more of that kind of almost vanilla caramel, I think, in there.
There's a lot of parallels with the swirl.
Yeah.
I mean, both being sherry. This one's got licorice to it, the witchcraft, to me. Like red licorice, obviously, not black licorice.
Anything out of the comment pipe, Greg? Oh.
Nope, nothing too recent.
Okay. So, there you have it. The Feb 2021 SMWS edition. Again, beauty of it is they're all excellent whiskeys. Some you'll love more than others, and everyone's different. But again, they never fail to disappoint. Kelly, good job. You and Rob, over the years, I know it's not easy doing that job and buying so far in advance, but you guys do a stellar job, and we appreciate that. Thank you very much. I know it's difficult with quantities, and I get that. I understand that. So we just have to take it with what we've got, and we will do the best we can to fill orders. In the old days, what we would do when we were face to face is we would draw cards and people would come up and we'd have kind of an organized thing. This is virtual. It's kind of first come, first serve. And if you remember, in particular, James, what we would do in Fort Mac is you would have your picks of 1, 2, and 3. If you can't get 1, this is what I'd like for 2. If you can't get 2, this is what I'd like for 3, for number 3. So if you can do that, that would be great. There's no possible way we'll be able to fill exactly what you want. It's not going to happen, and I apologize. We can only do the best that we can do. But if you have a secondary, if you choose one and we can't get that, is there another one that you would like that we can possibly get you? We will do the very best that we can. We are in constant communication with Kelly and Rob. If there's any way that we can bring another case of such and such in, we will try, but we can't. There's no way to guarantee that. Absolutely no way. We will just do the best that we can do. And that's all we can do. So I hope that you understand that. I hope that, but I got to, wait, before we end up, I got to do a plug, Craig.
Another one?
Well,
Kate?
We've got a tasting coming up.
Another one?
Yes.
Kate?
Cavalan.
Do it.
So, folks, we want to do another tasting. We're looking at the 18th, and we're going to have Paul and Harold here with us because, in my opinion, this is the only way to do a proper tasting. I don't care about Zoom or whatever you want, whatever it is. If you're live streaming, to me, that's the way to go. We want to do a tasting on the 18th with 5 whiskeys from Cavalan and 3 whiskeys from Sweden, and I've lost the name. What's the name of the whiskeys?
I think it's High Coast, but Zara, you can correct me on that.
Are you there still?
Pretty sure it's High Coast.
let us know for sure we're right in a high coast. Because Zara is going to be, Zara, which is an SMWS member, is going to be hosting, along with myself, on the 18th, along with Paul and Harold. We're going to be here. Do you want to come, Greg?
Yeah.
Craig's going to be here too. So,
do I want to come?
So we're gonna look at the 18th. We haven't figured out all the I know it's short notice, but that was the date that really fit well for Zara. So we're gonna try and work with that. But give me some feedback, folks, on how you feel about that. Send us an email. Drop us a line. There's some amazing whiskeys that we're going to try. Some really cool stuff. So that's coming down the pipe. I want to thank everyone for joining us and attending the tasting with us. I want to thank Paul and Harold specifically for putting this on for us. If you guys need to do something virtual and you want to get away from the Zoom thing and you want it professionally done, these are the guys to go to, because I think they do a great job. And I can set you up contact-wise if you need be, or you can just contact them. They're a good bunch of guys. So there's that. Am I missing anything at all, Craig?
Tasting-wise, no, I don't think so. But
Kelly, have you got anything? Kelly, anything down from Edinburgh? Anything you want us to relay to anybody?
Kelly just mentioned that there's been a lot of feedback in here just since you've been talking.
Yes.
Just people really, really like this format. Some good compliments for us. Kelly mentioned a high coast bottling.
Yes.
So Kelly, if that's the thing that's possible, yeah, please. I think that'll go over really well. Yeah, just feedback's been good. Did you have a favorite?
Well, I did. I must say, I really liked the Big Swirl. I liked the Witchcraft, and I also liked the Little 5-year. If I had to pick one,
you got to pick one.
I guess I'd have to go with Witchcraft, but the other two would be very close behind. What about you, Craig?
The Tari Night. Because it's astonishingly good for young whiskey.
Yeah.
The value is excellent.
Yeah.
The flavor profile is nuts.
Yes.
With or without water.
Absolutely.
Folks here are saying we should do this every month.
You think, guys?
Yeah.
I wonder. I was saying to Craig before we started this thing tonight, I said, I wonder how many people will actually be watching tonight, because SMWS, you guys are all seasoned whiskey drinkers. You pick up your pack, and then you say, well, I'll just taste it myself, and I'll decide for myself, which is okay. Nothing wrong with that. But I just wondered how many people would want to actually sit in with us and try. But you know what? It's fun. It's engaging.
It is
fun. When we can do the chat thing, I think that really helps it. And people converse with. It's not the same as live. I get that. This is the closest thing we can do to live, and we will continue. And if Paul and Harold want to stick with us, I'd like to stick with them. So if we can do this till we can do it in person again, then yes, we shall move forward with this concept and move on. Because if we're going to do this thing, let's do it right. And we're not going to do it by Zoom or some. We're going to do it where it's professionally done, and that's the way to go. And I thank you all for coming tonight. And wait a minute, what have I got left? Cheers.
Cheers, folks. Thank you.